lived in a cave where he painted his own image on the wall. He came across the river, over the plains and billabongs. In his travels, he gave shape to the land, brought important ceremonies, and showed the people what animals to hunt. Enoch explains that Injuanjua eventually turned himself into stone.
Take off his leg and sit down. And when they start walk away,
He says, Injuanjua walks down here and turns himself into stone. That stone there, that's Injuanjua. This rock is the embodiment of the creator being and is the focus of the life force. Close to Injuanjua, and imbued with his spirit, are the caves where for centuries the Gagudju have placed the bones of their dead. Enoch is the only person who still knows the Gagudju's complete burial rites. He explains how the people painted themselves and then carried the bones of the dead to the caves. The two elders are filled with an ineffable sadness as they see their culture slip away. No newly initiated men are following behind them, and only the initiated can be told the secret rites.
Go up there. Take the bone, just put them in the top. And they say, goodbye. I go home. Come back.
Enoch says, sometimes I sit down and think about myself, and I cry before I go to sleep because I am very sorry nobody is coming after us. And when we die, Bill and me, they got to bring our bones right back here to this cave, so our spirit can join Injuanjua and our dream time. Bluey Ilkir continues his painting, his communion with the powers of the dream time. Kangaroos and wallabies are particularly important to the Aborigines. The giant ancestral kangaroo, similar to the one Ilkir is painting, made prominent landforms and gave the people important ceremonies. Of the several species that live in Kakadu, Gagudju, the antelopine kangaroo, is the largest. He is hunted for food, but only the older people can eat him. They say that if young people eat kangaroo meat, they will have bad dreams. These kangaroos live in small social groups and are usually gentle and affectionate. Their smaller neighbor, Gonobolo, the agile wallaby, is more aggressive. Flying foxes are the largest of all the bats. During the day, they rest in colonies that may number more than 100,000 individuals. Most colonies are in trees standing in water. It is cooler there. Territorial squabbles are all sound and fury, and seldom result in injury. The young black flying foxes cannot fly at birth. They are carried by their mothers, even in flight, until they are a month old. During the heat of the day, the resting animals fan themselves. Sometimes fanning is not enough. Then the bats lick their wings, and the evaporation of their saliva helps to cool them further. When they are ready to take off, they climb to the highest points in the roost trees. To the Aborigines, Goloban, the black flying fox, is associated with the forces of darkness. Medicine men, who are held in high regard, are also sorcerers. They are often called flying foxmen. Darkness is the time when evil spirits come out from caves and hollow trees. The people do not venture far from the safety of their campfires. Gagudju's night belongs to the animals. Lambulk, the sugar glider, has left her nest in a tree hollow. Dokun, a tiny insect-eating marsupial, is ever ready to tackle insects even larger than himself. After being dormant for several weeks, Beck, the highly venomous death adder, finally sloughs its skin. The snake is now hungry and stalks even York, the brown bandicoot, who is much too large for it to overpower. York, however, takes no chances and barricades himself in his nest of dry grass. Because it has no eyelids, the knob-tailed gecko has to clean its eye with its tongue. The night has been cool, and the kangaroos seek a sunny place to warm themselves. But Lambulk shuns the sunlight and hurries back to her tree hollow. She will sleep here until darkness falls again. Whenever he has a spare moment, Jonathan Yaramarna goes out to his ancestral lands to learn as much as he can from his father. Today, the two visit Hawk Dreaming, a sacred site where the spirit of Garkane, the brown falcon, resides. Bill has difficulty climbing the rock face. This may well be the last time he visits the spirit of Garkane. Bill explains the significance of Hawk Dreaming and shows Jonathan a hand stencil he made when he was about 8 years old and came here with his father. A hand stencil is a kind of signature laying claim to the site, but more in a spiritual than a physical sense. A few days later, Bill and Jonathan go to a rock outcrop close to Hawk Dreaming. As a commitment to his Aboriginal heritage, Jonathan will put his hand stencil, his signature, on the rocks near Hawk Dreaming. Jonathan makes his mark the way Gagudju people have done for thousands of years. The spinifex grass on the rock plateau is dying off, heralding the season of hot winds. Waterfalls are no more than trickles. In the woodlands, grasses that escaped the fires have died back into a dense mat. The floodplains are reduced to a series of turbid pools. The water turns hot under the burning sun. Barramundi and other fish lie dying in the shallows. The hunters of the billabongs have an easy time, and the scavengers grow fat. A goanna cannot make any impression on the scaly body of a huge barramundi. The 4-foot-long lizard must find another way. Marawuti, the sea eagle, is now able to snare much larger prey than usual. Whistling kites with their smaller beaks and talons cannot penetrate the scales of such a large fish. They wait for Marawuti to do that. Then, with their greater agility and audacity, they snatch the food right out of the eagle's beak.